It's no joke how much I sweat.
I don't have an opening for this one because last time we talked about how hot it is unseasonably and how disgusting that is.
I mean, this is the opening, right?
Yeah.
Me coming in and being like, I'm so sweaty, and then smacking the microphone.
I mean, I can take the part out where you smack the microphone at least.
Nah, just leave it.
Just leave it, yeah.
Just ruin everyone's ears.
Genuinely, because like we do recording, we do video editing and stuff. That's one of my favorite things is watching YouTubers who smack their microphone and then don't remove it. It makes me so happy. And it's not like, haha, you missed this, or like, haha, you left it and thought it would get past people. I don't know, it makes me laugh for some reason when people smack their microphone.
Yeah, like when you hear it, or like streamers and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
One of the ASM artists that I listen to, like, is constantly like dropping shit. And it's like, it's so loud.
Oh,
and she's just like, sorry. Like, that's it.
Oh, because they record in one take, right?
Yeah, one take.
Huh. What else is done in one take, Kylie?
That segue.
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
I didn't either.
That was amazing.
All right, so today we're talking about the phenomenon, the global thing that took the world by storm in 2017. We are talking about ASMR. No. Anyway, genuinely, we are talking about the 2017 film. Hold on. Let me practice my Nihongo. Kamera o tomeru na, which I did not learn because I can't read kanji very well until doing the post-viewing research. The original title of this film is Don't Stop the Camera, which totally makes sense.
Yeah, that honestly, like, that's a better title.
But in English, it is known as One Cut of the Dead.
I also saw that there's like I don't remember where. It was probably France, honestly. It was probably France.
Yeah.
It's called Final Cut.
You spoiled it.
Oh,
you spoiled it. No, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, anybody who was wondering what we were talking about in France last week, there's a French remake of this film that came out in 2022.
I didn't realize. Okay.
But we'll get to that.
I did not realize about that. So.
There's a rabbit hole there.
Oh, okay.
That's like
You're gonna have to.
An ironic rabbit hole.
You're gonna have to
It's
enlighten
great.
me.
It's great.
Okay.
So I'll go this time because you went last time. If
you
that's
just
good.
want to talk about it.
Well, no, I want to give the facts. It's a 2017 film that was directed by Shinichiro Ueda. It was also written and I believe produced by him. And it was extremely low budget. I don't know if you saw that.
I think I did. I think he got help from a drama theater.
Yeah, it was a like actors workshop
with production.
Right, and with most of the casting because basically everyone who is in this movie is an unknown. Like they came from that workshop essentially.
Yes.
So
I also want to say that we're probably not going to really talk about this movie. I just want to put that up front.
Like we might talk about
we'll talk around the movie.
Yeah.
But
we should probably save the spoilers until like the very end because a lot of this episode is probably just going to be us telling you to watch this movie.
Yeah. So first of all, go watch the movie.
So yeah, go watch this movie. If you're in America, it is exclusively on the horror streaming service Shudder. That's where we watched it. A streaming service? It's great. It's less than 2 hours. Won't take a lot of your time. And from the first 2 minutes, you're going to be hooked. It's great.
Okay, we can argue about that, actually.
Especially, if you like horror comedy, or comedy horror, whichever one you want to put in front as the adjective of the other.
I prefer ho comedy or.
Wow. Wow. Ho comedy or. It's great. Yeah. Okay. What do you want to argue? We can talk more about the facts of the film. What do you want to argue about?
Tell me about the facts.
Okay.
Tell me about the facts.
So at the time of filming, it cost about 3 million yen, which in 2017 money before the mega I don't actually know how the yen and the USD compare now. I was going to make a joke about inflation, but I have no idea. So I'm just going to cut that off. It was about $25,000. They figured, from what I was reading, that they needed, I think, about 5,000 tickets sold in like its really small initial theater run to break even.
Mm-hmm.
And it was submitted to a couple of film festivals, and then it started to take off. It got a wider re-release in Japan. It went to a bunch of different film festivals all over the world, got picked up for international distribution, and basically ended up making, I think it was like 3,000 times its budget back.
It made
Something
over
ridiculous.
$31 million.
Yeah, compared with a $25,000 budget.
Yeah.
So
it was one of, I feel like it was like it broke the record of,
I think, like the return on
yeah,
a film.
Yeah.
I think I read that too, but I couldn't find anything that like definitely clarified
yeah,
that.
I couldn't either. So that's why I'm saying
I was like,
I think, yeah.
It was reported.
Basically, it made a boatload of money.
Yeah.
Not that that's important.
No,
but like
it's notable because reportedly it is like the most profitable movie in history.
Maybe
question mark?
ever.
So anyway, but yeah, I think that's about it for like the production side of it. I guess prior to this film, Ueda had done a couple of like short films.
Yeah.
And as far as I could see, this was his first feature-length film.
I think it was.
So
as far as I could tell too. And it follows the title.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the American title. Let's say that.
Right.
The One Cut of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
The film is all shot in a single take.
Yep. Which I think I was reading, it took them six takes to do it.
It took 6 takes to get the single take.
That sounds.
And the single take is 37 minutes long.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's funny as video editors, and we've been doing this for more than half a decade, and so like the whole time it was like, okay, this is one take, but we kept being like, well, they could have done a fade here where you couldn't tell that it was like edited, or anything like that.
Right.
And I will say it took 4 months after post-production, or like post-production. Yeah, okay. 4 months. Sorry, I was possessed by a demon for a second.
I was gonna say.
To edit it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny to think about because it's like it's just one take.
Because it's one take, but I mean, there's more that goes into video editing than.
Yeah, and there's more to it than that too.
Right.
But I was gonna say something else, but I don't remember. So let's talk about something else.
So we'll come back around to, I guess, talking about the actual movie itself, like at the end. Right?
Yeah, okay. Honestly, like at this point, this is like, here's what you've heard. Like, if you can access this movie, go watch it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like
really good.
Anybody here theoretically likes movies. Otherwise, I don't know why you're here unless you just like us. In which case, thank you. Like, yeah, like if you like movies, you should watch this movie. Like,
yeah, especially if you like the like behind the scenes aspect of filmmaking, because I mean that's a lot of what the movie is about, basically. Because I guess we never even really described what this movie is.
I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, you can talk about the beginning though, because it's literally like the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
It's that they're filming. There are these people in a place filming a zombie movie, or like a short.
The place is a abandoned
Water
World War II.
treatment?
No, it's an abandoned World War II. In the movie,
No, I know.
the place is an abandoned World War II like munitions facility or something like that,
I thought
or
that
like
they...
experimental.
What? No. Yeah, they talk about how
In the movie.
You're okay. This time, I'm the one who's remembering correctly, and you're misremembering.
Well, okay. What is
They
it?
say it was a water treatment facility that during World War II was used for human experimentation.
Okay. I had it wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong.
9 out of 10 times, I am 99 out of 100 times, I am wrong.
I thought it was like some kind of like munition storage, and they were using.
We're gonna have to watch it again to find out.
I know. I think you're right, but I mean, it literally is a water treatment facility.
Right.
But that's what. But when I read that, I was like, oh, that's not what they said. So that's why.
No, I think they said it was a water treatment facility
in
used
World War II for experimentation. Human experimentation. Thus,
so they're filming
zombies.
a zombie thing there, and then zombies happen. Like actual zombies happen.
Yeah, like actual zombies, not in the movie that they're filming.
Right.
It is really hard to talk about this, especially because I flubbed it up.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So that's the basic premise of it. If that sounds interesting to you, and there's the gimmick of it being in one take.
Okay, it's all in one take. It is a film crew filming a zombie movie.
Right. Who are then
in a zombie movie.
Yeah. They're attacked by zombies, and it's like a meta movie.
It's a meta movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
great.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a water treatment facility, which may or may not be a munitions factory. I'm just kidding. No, I know you're right.
No.
I know you're right.
So I want to talk about what happened after the movie, because that's the part that I found really fascinating that I don't think I've really seen people talk about. Because okay,
before we do that,
yeah,
can I talk about the reviews?
Yeah.
Do not read any reviews before you watch this movie,
because they'll spoil the whole movie.
They'll spoil the whole movie, but also this is where I was talking about last time, where I was I differ from everybody.
Okay, yeah.
Nobody likes the first 37 minutes of this movie.
Are you serious?
And I am people said that they had to suffer through. They were
Y'all
saying,
are crazy.
They were saying it might feel stupid or strange or wrong or weird to get through this first, but just get through it. Just make sure you keep watching. And I'm like, was I watching a different movie?
The rest of the movie's good. The first 37 minutes are arguably the best part.
Yeah.
Y'all are incorrect.
They're hilarious.
Y'all are
it's hilarious. Yeah, I just had I can't. I was just like, this is why I'm neurodivergent, isn't it? It's
Well, I will say though that this as far as I am aware has maintained a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It has.
So, which generally speaking, I only ever and you'll see this in a lot of our old video essays and stuff. I only ever bring up professional film criticism as a means of talking about how the film was received historically.
Yes.
I don't personally put a lot of stock in honestly, okay, this is going to sound crazy. I don't put a lot of stock in what other people think about anything that I like.
No, I
or
agree
that
with
I dislike.
I agree with that.
Because I'm just I see why you didn't like it or why you did like it, but I do or don't.
Yeah, we can be different and it's fine.
So I never bring that stuff up to argue about why somebody is right or wrong.
Yes, I think that's good to note.
But I will say it's fascinating for me to hear that. I'm assuming you're talking about user reviews, on IMDb and stuff.
Yes.
It's fascinating to hear that diverges so strongly from critical reviews, from professional critics.
Oh, really? Because I didn't read critical reviews.
Well, no, because that's what I'm saying, is that 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, sites like Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic,
mm-hmm.
I think they do account for user reviews, but Metacritic weights critical reviews more,
mm-hmm.
Higher, and I think Rotten Tomatoes gives two separate scores. There's a critical score and a user score.
Yeah.
And the critical score is the one that I'm talking about. So
I
film
think the
critics,
user score is 93.
Okay.
People love this movie, but they hate the first 37 minutes. That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I get that. That's wild. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I don't see eye to eye with you though.
But I wholeheartedly disagree.
Yeah.
That shit is so quaint. And
yeah.
Honestly, I do wonder. I had a thought about it.
Uh-huh.
You and I almost exclusively consume YouTube as a form of media, which is
true.
Much more in line with how the first 37 minutes play out.
Yeah, you're... And
when you go to watch a movie, you have a certain expectation.
Something else.
You and I certainly don't. We blew that expectation out of the water.
Okay,
years ago.
I will say with that. Okay, first of all, if you're in that group of people and you're listening to this and you disliked the beginning, but you liked the rest of the movie, please.
You probably went to film school.
No, comment below. I want to know. I want to know why. Because I want to understand why.
Well, they just, basically what it came down to was it's cringe. That's why I'm saying you probably went to film school.
Yeah.
Like, we have a friend who went to film school. I have a feeling when he watches this movie...
Because we told him to watch it.
We told him to watch it because we know he'll love it.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling when he watches this, he's going to say the first 37 minutes were terrible.
Right.
I have a feeling he's going to say that.
So here's the thing. Actually, bringing it around to him is really a really perfect segue. We're not going to call him out by name. I'm just going to call him out vaguely here. He and I have had like severe disagreements about people using digital film, or not digital film, but digital recording for quote unquote film, like for movies before.
Like how Tangerine was filmed on an iPhone.
Yeah, and well, the specific example that it always comes back to is Inland Empire by David Lynch, which was a 2006 film that was shot completely on digital. He's never seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie since probably like 2007. Go figure. That's probably, I was watching David Lynch when I was like 13. That's probably why I'm so fucked up. But
everything wrong with you is Neon Genesis Evangelion and
David
Lynch.
That's true. So
Do you care to explain?
Well, no. I don't see any problem with using that quality of camera or that type of camera. But
you mean like analog?
But no, using digital instead of film. But the thing is, this goes back to when I was a teenager and I was watching a lot of Japanese film from the 2000s when a lot of it was shot digitally because it was so cheap. Mm-hmm. And I would try to show my friends Japanese movies by like Shion Sono or I can't even, I'm blanking, like, but Takashi Miike, and they hated them because of how they looked.
Really?
They hated the way that digital looked. Like, I remember trying to show somebody in like senior year of high school Love Exposure and I think Suicide Club, both of which, as far as I know, were shot digitally. I could be wrong. Please tell me. But they look different, and they couldn't watch them because they looked, and that's what they said at the time. They looked unprofessional, and it was like no, like these are decently budgeted movies. Like they're not like huge like blockbusters, but like these are well-received, fairly large movies that had decent budgets behind them. Man. But I'm wondering, this whole long tangent is coming back around to, I'm wondering if because I've been watching movies that were shot digitally for so long and I'm so used to the way that they look, if that's why people don't like the first, the one cut in this movie, because it looks unprofessional.
Maybe?
You know what I mean?
I mean, wholeheartedly, I have no idea.
I don't want to speak for anybody.
Wholeheartedly, obviously. I have no idea. I don't understand that. It's like the whole. I understand in terms of like fidelity.
Sure.
Like it's like talking about music, like listening to something on a record player with a record and like or vinyl, you know, versus something on CD.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I get it.
Versus digital. Yeah.
I get it. Like I'm not saying you're wrong or anything like that.
No,
I understand like having an appreciation for what is arguably empirically better quality.
Higher quality. Yeah,
I get that.
Sure.
But it kind of comes back around like to the whole like video game discussion that you and I have had recently, where a lot of people, and this isn't to call anybody out at all. Like,
of course not.
A lot of people who grew up like, 10 years after us, we grew up with like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. People 10 years after,
even Sega Genesis,
grew up with like Wii and you know Xbox 360.
Yep.
And so you had access to games that you know obviously had better you know capabilities to produce better graphics.
Yeah.
And now those people who grew up in that time go back and try to like play or watch games from like PlayStation 1 era, and they're like, I can't even handle this. It looks like dog shit.
Yep.
And I can't empathize.
I don't
with that.
understand it.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, of course not.
Like
of course
you
not.
are valid in however you feel. That is totally valid. I just can't understand it.
No, I can't either, honestly. Like, I don't know.
And that's not to be like, back in my day, you know.
No,
like,
no, not at all.
It's just everybody has different like opinions and thoughts and feelings and you know appreciations and. I loved the first 37 minutes of this movie. It was my favorite part.
Yeah. Also, if I may, that is also not a call out like based on age or experience.
No,
because we've noticed that correlation with some people that we know who are like 10 years younger than us.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, all the way back in 2006 when like the Xbox 360 came out, I had friends who immediately dropped even like PS2 because they were like, yo, that looks like dog shit.
Oh yeah,
this is the new shit.
Yeah. And we also have friends like 10 years older than us potentially who had even more of that,
of
like
course.
But they sure they appreciate the nostalgia aspect of it, but they're like, I have to have the best.
Yeah, like
you know?
if my game doesn't run above 60 FPS, if it's capped at 30 or 60 FPS, I can't play it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't understand.
That,
you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. You're valid, and like whatever you think and feel is,
of course,
is fine.
Of course.
I just think that generally speaking, like you and I both have a much like broader range of tolerance than what it seems to be most people have.
Because
based on how we talk about the things that we like with other people. And this has been across the board.
Oh, for years.
For years.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, oh, that movie was so good. And people will be like, eh.
Yeah.
Good. So I have started to refrain from calling anything good at all ever. Yeah. Because people like get offended.
Yeah.
When you call something good. Anyway, we've gone on a really long tangent.
Look,
let's just get back to the
all
movie.
I'm saying is that I've brought this up on the show before. I unironically like The Room, which had a much larger budget than One Cut of the Dead. So
okay, back to it.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about what happened after this movie came out.
Okay, this is
little rabbit hole.
Look, okay. We're potentially going to enter into spoiler territory.
Probably.
We've been rambling on a whole bunch. If you haven't watched this movie, go watch it. And if I really, really strongly advise you not continuing if you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Because watching this movie without spoilers is kind of pivotal to the experience.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Anyway, we're going to continue.
So, something that I've never really seen discussed because this movie came out 5 years ago. It was a big thing. I remember because this channel started in 2017. So I was seeing a bunch of promotion from Third Window Films, which is the UK distributor for this movie. I think they were the first one to export it from Japan. I think. So like because I was following them at the time, I saw all like the press stuff for this movie, but I haven't kept up with it in 5 years since. 2 years later, in 2019, there was actually a 59-minute sequel.
That's available on YouTube.
Is it?
No.
No. I was going to say.
The sequel to the sequel is available on YouTube.
Right.
The one from 2020.
So the one in 2019 is called One Cut of the Dead spinoff in Hollywood. Okay, this is where the funny, ironic rabbit hole comes in.
Okay.
So if you've seen the movie, you know it's about the second 2/3, I guess, the second half of the movie is about them having to put together the
movie,
the drama for TV and do it all live in one take, all that good stuff.
And then them doing it.
2019's In Hollywood is a sequel that mainly centers around his daughter, who is like basically a production assistant now for him, for the director, when they are commissioned to go to America and remake it for an American audience.
Oh gosh.
3 years later, 2022, there is released Final Cut, a French remake of
the sequel?
of the original.
Oh, okay.
Which I just think it's hilarious because there is such a history for, at this point, decades of not just Japanese, but also tons of Asian horror films being adapted, quote unquote, for a foreign audience. Typically America. Sometimes, like The Ring had a Korean remake. You know, like, I don't know, they're all over the place. You know, like Shudder was based on a Thai film, I think. It's all over the place. I just think it's hilarious that the next logical step for the people who worked on this was, oh, it's a horror movie from Japan. It had huge success. So we're going to make the plotline of the sequel be about how the TV drama that was filmed in universe had huge success. So Americans wanted to remake it. And then like 2 years later,
it got remade.
It got remade.
Yeah.
And I just think it's, I don't know. I think it's really funny.
That is kind of funny to bring that up, though. Supposedly, now this was on Wikipedia,
Sure.
and I did not check the sources, but supposedly he got sued
I did see that too,
for
briefly.
plagiarism.
Because he says it was based on a stage play.
It was inspired by Ghost in the Box,
Right.
I think is what it was called.
Which I'm not super sure about what the play is about. But I know, he said he was inspired by it.
But supposedly the guy who wrote that said that he plagiarized, and
Rude.
they had to make a settlement and all kinds of stuff.
You can figure out who I'm calling rude in that scenario, because that sounds like it's probably rude on both sides.
I don't know. I just feel like, yeah. I just thought I'd say that because
That's fair.
Because of the fascinating aspect of what we're talking about how, I mean,
remakes and remakes.
That happens all the time.
Which again, that's another thing that we've touched on the show before is everything is derivative.
I mean, I literally just got an email from YouTube saying, "Hey, your content has been used by another YouTuber who has 6.3 million subscribers and gets hundreds of thousands of views." And I'm like, well, that's not gonna go anywhere. So guess I might as well not fight that one.
Yeah,
because that's just how it happens. But
that's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I love YouTube.
Super
man.
great. Love
it.
Unironically,
I do love YouTube, but
there are some things about YouTube's
that broken.
could use some changes. Yeah. Anyway, we're not talking about that.
So there was a second sequel, like you said, in 2020.
Yeah, which was filmed during the pandemic.
Right, which was called One Cut of the Dead: Mission Remote, and that one, it's a short film, and it's less than half an hour, and it's available on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
I think in Hollywood, the sequel did finally get an English release in 2021, but I am not sure if that was just in the UK or if that's in America as well. So maybe that's something we'll talk about at some point. I don't know.
I think the one on YouTube also has English subs.
Okay, cool. So I think. I mean, this is definitely something that we could revisit later and watch both of those and cover them.
But yeah, basically this movie was filmed on a tiny little budget. It had huge international success. It made a boatload of money. Again, not that matters, but it's really good. And it's if you like movies, and the movie making process, this is so fascinating and refreshing. I feel like I bring this up all the time.
Sure.
It reminded me of Who's Camus. Who's Camus
honestly,
anyway?
Yeah. If you liked Who's Camus anyway, if you've seen it, the 2006 film, I can't remember the guy's name who directed it, but if you like it,
you'll like this.
Very similar because it's a movie about making movies.
Yeah.
And both of them have a really clever twist, I guess you could call it.
And they're both that
reframes how you see the movie.
They're both kind of horror comedy and
kind of yeah.
It's fun. I had fun watching it, and apparently you're gonna have to suffer through 37 minutes. Yeah, supposedly.
So we've warned you.
We've warned you that you might suffer, but it's worth it.
If you hate the first 37 minutes, do not sue us. We warned you that they're apparently awful, and you're gonna hate it. Yeah. But if you did hate it, please leave a comment and let us know why, because I'm very curious. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
I was just seeing if there was anything else. No, we talked about everything.
All right. We talked about everything. This is the definitive podcast about this movie.
So it's you'll find no other information anywhere at any time.
Never.
Ever.
All right.
Bye.
Well, thank you for listening. If you're on YouTube, we're also on Spotify. You can subscribe and get a little notification every Sunday when one of these goes live. And for the time being, it's Sunday. I don't know. You could be listening 3 years from now, and either it's a different day or we stop doing it. I don't know.
And we're kicking off our spooky spectacular because this is our favorite time of the year.
Yep.
So this movie was our first in what will hopefully be quite a few horror films.
What'd you just call me?
Yeah, I know.
If you're
comedy or.
That's me. And if you're on Spotify, we're also on YouTube. We got a bunch of content on there that you don't see over here. But either way, subscribe, follow us. We got a bunch of good stuff coming in October. A bunch of good stuff that we don't even know what it is yet because we haven't picked those movies yet. Nope. So it'll be a surprise for all of us.
Yay.
thank you for listening. Let us know why you hated this movie if you did, and leave a skull emoji if you got this far in the comments, because that seems appropriate.
Or
I don't
a
think
brain.
Oh, a brain too. Yeah, I don't think there's a zombie emoji. I know there's a vampire, but
I think there's a brain though.
yeah, leave a brain.
Skull and brain.
Skull and brain. Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody.
Bye.